waiting until after this.
You know, Mike, I spent all night resting, so I'm ready for some beer tonight.
Yeah, I mean, just give us an update, man. Obviously, coming off a big win not long ago here, undefeated at welterweight now. Just what's kind of the latest? Are you looking for a fight soon? Or?
Yeah, definitely looking to fight in December. I want to give myself a little break. I put a lot of work into these camps, so December fits in my timeline real well. We're going to do a new deal, which I'm excited about, and part of that deal is I want my next fight to be against a ranked opponent. I'm very adamant about that. When I left lightweight, I think I was ranked 10 or 11 in the UFC rankings. So I think I deserve a ranked opponent, and I know the UFC they'll deliver. So so I'm just kind of sitting in limbo. I kept myself training after my last fight. My coach was finally like, "Dude, go to Edmonton, pump the brakes. You need to chill out. You're gonna fight before the end of the year. We need you healthy." I kind of go into lunatic fringe mode when these camps start. So I got to give myself a little break. It's just kind of hard to do, but So I'm just gonna kind of sit. Get this new deal knocked out, get a fight in December, get a win.
Is there anything else you're looking for, within this deal, except for a ranked opponent in the next one?
No, not at all. You know what I mean? I've got no quarrel with the UFC. They've always been very, very good to me. They've always treated me very well. I'm in this company for life, so it's there's nothing I'm looking for. Just a ranked opponent and a name, and I know they'll deliver. So we'll see what happens.
Well, there's a lot of big fights coming up in your division. In this, I don't want to call it layup, but in your break, are you at least looking forward to seeing this division play out?
Yeah, oh yeah, dude, always, absolutely. I'm always paying attention. Whatever, I still find myself paying attention to lightweight. It's kind of hard. I spent my whole life fighting in lightweight. I've only been at welterweight for a year, so I find myself paying attention to both weight classes, especially when you see guys kind of moving around and stuff. So, I'm definitely paying attention to what's going on. You got a big welterweight fight tonight. We got Jeff Neal, Nico Price. That fight's gonna be sick. I'm always paying attention to the landscape of my division and just kind of having a plan. I think that's one thing a lot of guys don't do is they don't pay attention. They just kind of think about, they're very narrow-minded about something they want. It's you got to have a reason. Why do you want to fight this guy? What's the reason? Why does it make sense? I think a lot of guys need to pay a little more attention, have a reason why you're asking for these things. So I'm a guy that pays close attention.
How far ahead do you plan? Because I remember Israel Adesanya when he came in, he had a 3-fight plan. He goes, I'm gonna fight this guy, and then this guy, and then this guy.
There's a reason why me and Israel Adesanya are friends. It's because birds of a feather. I'm a man with a plan. There's a reason why anytime I've ever called a guy out or asked for a fight, I've usually gotten it. You know what I mean? If you look, when I fought at lightweight, I beat Jim Miller, I asked for Beneil Dariush because it made sense. Guess what? I fought Beneil Dariush 4 months later. After I beat Beneil Dariush, Tony Ferguson made sense, and I knew it. So guess what? I asked for Tony Ferguson. Guess what? I got it. You know what I mean? So I'm a guy that pays close attention. I'm very tactical in my approach as to why I ask for certain guys. You know what I mean? It's not just me throwing out a name. It's not me picking the weakest link or who I think I match up best against. It's just looking at the landscape of the division and picking the fights that make sense, making the matchmaker's job easier. Sean's got enough shit on his plate, so I'm just trying to help him out. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Been hanging out with your buddy Wonderboy here all week. He's ranked. He's looking for a fight.
Our timelines don't match up. He's a good guy. You know what I mean? Maybe later on down the road. I'm not looking to get matched up with a guy that I just became friends with this week. You know what I mean? But maybe later on down the road, yeah, absolutely. We'll see what happens. It's a sport. At the end of the day, you don't got to not like a guy to fight him. You know what I mean? So I'm not gunning for a fight with Wonderboy. And it's funny because we're at the CFL game. We're sitting right on the field, and they brought the cameras over for us. I'm like, yeah, give it up for Stephen Thompson and Michael Chiesa. Yeah, cool. I drink a beer on the camera, and the guy in front of the whole arena announced, yeah, good luck on Saturday, guys. You guys will have a good fight. It's no. No, sir, you're wrong. But yeah, maybe later on. There's other guys, you know what I mean? And styles make fights. There's a lot of fun things you can do with him. There's a lot of fun things you can do with me. I think there's better fights for us out there right now, but maybe later on, let's do it.
So we saw another guy move up tonight in weight in Eric Koch. Obviously went his way. You're one of the ones to do it, like you said, about a year ago now. What would you say to guys who are on the fence right now in terms of moving up?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into that. It just depends on how hard are your weight cuts? How big are you? How much, for lack of better words, what kind of hell are you putting yourself through to get to your weight class? It all really depends on that. You know what I mean? Because if I didn't have a big frame, I probably wouldn't fit at welterweight. You know what I mean? It's just because just because you're having tough cuts, maybe you need to diet better. Maybe there's certain things you could do better to make it easier. Or maybe you really are in the wrong weight class. For me, I really was in the wrong weight class. At this juncture, I'm 6'2", walking around at 195 pounds. I'm definitely in the wrong weight class. You know what I mean? I'm not a small guy. So, you know, you got to kind of factor a lot of things into that. It's not just like how, you know, yeah, how tough are your weight cuts, but, you know, what are you doing outside of camp? How do you eat in camp?
Other than the fights and the fight game and camp and stuff, how has moving up to 170 benefited you? Like outside of that, like what have you seen change in your life?
It's a total night and day difference, man. When I fought at lightweight, like if I was to, let's say I'm in Canada, native dish is the poutine. Okay, if I was fighting at lightweight and I ate some fucking poutine, I would go back to my hotel room and grill myself. Like, dude, what are you doing? You got to eat salad. Like, you're gonna have to fight in 4 months. You're gonna have to lose 40 pounds. You know what I mean? Like, it's quality of life thing. You know what I mean? I'm a lot happier. It's better for my team. You know, I'm very, like, when I was fighting at lightweight, I was very unresponsive to training. My coach would tell me to do something, and I would just be so withered and feeling like shit with, like, 6 weeks to go in camp and just be like, dude, fuck off. I can't do that right now. You know what I mean?
That's literally what Eric was saying.
Yeah, it's like I'm very responsive now. Like, I feel good. I can train hard. I'm actually starting to evolve again. I got very stagnant. I wasn't getting better in my skill set because I was just so focused on cutting weight. So it's just nice to actually be focusing on my skills, making improvements. And, you know, making weight is just so far on the back burner now, whereas before it was such a priority. That was in the front. Like, making weight was always in the front of everything. Whereas now, dude, that's so far in the back. We can just focus on getting better. We can train. We can travel. We can go get you different looks. Like, I used to not be able to really travel to train. I used to not be able to travel to train because I would be so paranoid. Like, dude, I have to be in a kitchen. I have to be very, like, meticulous and precise with my meals. I can't be over by 10 calories. Like, it was very annoying, you know what I mean? Whereas now it's like, cool, let's leave, let's go train somewhere, let's do whatever we got to do to get better and get a win. So it's just been a lot better all around.
So how's the poutine?
Fucking amazing. Of course it is, bro. Gravy, cheese curds, fries. Come on, man. That's my shit. Let's go.
When you started, did you ever fight 170 like beginning of your MMA career?
I had one short notice pro fight. Like, I think it was actually my last fight before I got on the Ultimate Fighter that I took like a local low-level fight.
But when you decided to become a prize fighter, you were like, I'm a lightweight, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my very first fight as an amateur,
Okay.
May 2008, was at lightweight. So, and the hardest thing about moving up is change. Change is fucking scary in this sport. To change camps, to change weight classes, to change promotions, any type of change that's significant is like really scary to do. You know what I mean? It's a lot of uncertainty. You get kind of comfortable in your own ways, even if it's really having a negative effect on you. But you know, it's sometimes you just got to make that jump.
I guess I'm trying to ask, like, I guess when you're younger, you say you're maybe less technically skilled, but you were just a bigger, stronger guy. Like, as you get more skills, did you need that strength or?
Well, the skills were always there. It wasn't always about being the bigger guy. I mean, I fought big lightweights. You know, I fought a lot of big lightweights. I fought Jorge Masvidal, who's a welterweight. I fought Kevin Lee, who's a welterweight. I fought Anthony Pettis, who's a welterweight. So it was never about size. You know, I mean, the skills were always there. It was just about how I felt. I didn't stay at lightweight because I was looking for a size advantage. I mean, this is mixed martial arts. Size means nothing. You know what I mean? That's like the whole foundation of this thing. I mean, I'm a grappler. I practice jiu-jitsu a lot. That's like, we harp on that. Size means nothing. Strength means nothing. It's all about technique. The techniques were there, but I'm just saying I got stagnant.
Why were you ever at 55 then?
How do you just decide? When you get ranked,
I'm
when all of a sudden you get ranked, it's hard to just jump away. I'm here to be a champion. You know what I mean? That's the goal, is be a world champion. So cool. Right around the time I get ranked is around the time I'm getting too big for the weight class. So now it's like, oh cool, you're ranked 14th. Well, sorry, I'm too big. I got to go. No, you got to deal with it because I'm trying to be a champion. That means if I got to put myself through hell through these weight cuts, I'm going to do it. But it gets to a point where it's like, I've lost 2 in a row. Got to look at the big picture now. Okay, you've lost 2 in a row. You're jumping back. Let's make a move. You know what I mean?
In the past, Dustin Poirier said it took him a few fights to feel like an actual lightweight rather than just a featherweight that stopped cutting weight.
Yeah.
As a 2 fights into welterweight, are you feeling the same way? Like, do you feel like a legitimate welterweight now?
I mean, I still had to cut 12 pounds to make 170. You know, I mean, it's not like I'm just waltzing in there at 170. I'm still having to cut weight. You know what I mean? So yeah, this was the fight where I felt like a true welterweight. You know what I mean? Whereas the Condit fight, I was kind of like dealing with a lot of nerves. 2 losses in a row. First fight in the weight class. You know, kind of a lot of different things going into it. Where after that fight, I kind of got to settle in and kind of like soak in how I was feeling, what's going on in my head, how's my body feeling. Yeah, when you got to cut 12 pounds for your weight class, yeah, I think you're in the right division.
When you're headed for the championship in the lightweight division, there's obviously some delays and some uncertainty with the championship with Conor, and it feels like maybe we're dealing with some of the same delays with with Habib now too, with just not knowing where it's going. Do you feel like you might have to deal with some of the same stuff in the welterweight division? It seems like the champions are taking time off. Tyron did the same thing, and then now it seems like Kamaru's been off for quite a while, and we don't know what's happening there. How do you feel about that?
For me, I'm not really thinking about it as much as I was at lightweight. I did factor in those types of things at lightweight, looking at Tony Ferguson winning an interim title, Conor being in the fringes. There was a lot of I feel like there was 3 champions in my weight class at one time. You know what I mean? Whereas now it's it's a little more clear cut who the man is. And I'm not ranked right now, so I don't really focus too much on it. But by the time I get there, we'll deal with it. But right now, I'm just very focused on getting a ranked opponent, getting a fight scheduled. Looking for December, looking for the ranked guy. Once I start climbing the rankings, maybe I'll dwell on those things a little more. But we'll see.
Thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
guys.
Thank you.
Yep.